Welcome. You are in the lab room. I'm your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me here on the program. Week 14 National Football League. Denver Broncos at home hosting the Tennessee Titans. Excuse me for laughing. This was the funniest game of the day to me. And for no other reason, no football related reason, just because, first of all, I didn't think Tennessee would do what they did in this game. Let me start with that. Okay, the Titans came out in this football game and they really gave the Denver Broncos a run early on, and I did not anticipate that. I thought that after losing last week, I thought they would come out and really be deflated, be flat in this game. Denver, coming off of a big win, would just come in and steamroll these guys, and it wouldn't even be close. I didn't even think this game would be in a balance in the third quarter. I thought this game would be well in hand, that the Broncos would dominate this game start to finish, and that this would just be a ho-hum victory. You know, something like 38-17, and you just keep it moving, not one that you would really spend a lot of time on. But as I saw this game unfold, I could do nothing but laugh because I knew where this game was headed. And it's funny because I looked at the Titans and I saw them as that drunk friend that when he gets drunk, he gets very confrontational and he wants to fight everybody. And you got to kind of try to hold him back. And I looked at the Titans and I said, don't be that drunk guy that wants to fight everybody. Don't be that drunk confrontational guy, that confrontational drunk, essentially. Don't be that guy. And I saw this coming. I said, look, man, when they jumped out to a 14-7 lead, I'm like, oh, okay, Tennessee out there playing a little bit of football, but Denver got 14-10, got to 14-10, and I said, okay, they'll reel them in, and Tennessee will realize what their role is in this game, play it well, and Denver will beat them 38-17, like I said. But then when they scored that next touchdown to go to 21-10, I said, Tennessee, what are you doing? And all of a sudden I found myself trying to be that mediator, that the friend that tries to hold that confrontational drunk back. Like, hey man, what are you doing? What are you doing? You know who that guy is? You better stop messing with that guy, man. Leave him alone. And he's like, man, no, let me go, man. Let me go. I can beat these dudes, man. Let me go. I'm like, you don't want this. Stop it, man. Stop it. I'm taking him in the corner. Stop. What are you doing? You got to stop. What are you doing? And he's like, no, man, let me go. I can beat these guys. And I'm like, you don't want this. You're getting yourself into something that you don't want any of, okay? You're in over your head. Stop it. That's what I was telling Tennessee. Stop while you're ahead, okay? If you quit now, the Broncos will show you some mercy and they won't put a 50 burger on your head. They'll just drop a 40 spot on you because, see, you're past the point of no return now. I can't stop you, and I can't stop them from putting 41 on your head now because you got 21. They have no choice. They see you as a threat now. They have no choice but to put 41 points on your head now. I can't stop them from putting 40 on you, but I can stop them. I can talk to them. If you stop now, I can stop them from putting 50 on your head. And Tennessee said, you know what? You're right. All right? And they calmed down. And they said, all right, I'm good. I said, you good, man? I'm going to let you go. Are you good? They said, I'm good, man. I'm cool. So I let the Tennessee Titans go. I left them alone. And here they go again. Nah, man, nah. I can beat these clowns. I can beat. And Denver ran off 24 unanswered points. And it was 34-21. And I said, okay, looks like Tennessee took my advice. They went in the corner. They calmed down. And they're okay now. And this score was going to be something like 37-21. And Denver would have been perfectly fine with scoring 37 or maybe even 44. They might have put a 41 on their head. I think Denver had another touchdown in them. It would have been something like 21-41. And that would have been fine. You just take that one on the chin. You keep it moving. But Tennessee said, no. They think they're better than me? They think they that good? No, I can beat them. I said, Tennessee, what are you doing? I said, you know what? Fine. You want to beat them? You want your chance at them? Go ahead. Do what you want to do. I'm not going to stand in the way no more. Do what you want to do. And so they go off and they score another touchdown. Justin Hunter catches another pass, gets him down close to the end zone. Chris Johnson runs it in. It's 28-34. Or excuse me, it was a big bomb to Justin Hunter on this one. And he gets in the end zone, and it's 34-28. So Denver's like, oh, so you really think you're going to beat us, huh? Okay, fine. I didn't want to do this to you, but all right. So I turned Tennessee loose, and I said, hey, do what you want to do. And they said, you're not going to hold me back no more? You going to let me go? Yeah, no, I'm not holding you back no more. No. You think you can beat them? Go ahead. Do what you want to do. I'm not holding you back no more. So you're not going to... You just, yeah, I'm letting you go. Go play him. And Denver went off on those boys some kind of terrible. All I could do was laugh because I saw this 50-burger coming. When they scored 28 and Denver felt threatened, I said, damn, they about to get 50 put on their head. And sure enough, I left them. I turned back around, and it was 34-28. And I turned back around, and it was 51-28. And I said, hey, I tried to warn you. I tried to stop you from yourself. This is what happens. When you want to be the confrontational drunk, this is what happens. When you want to be the guy that thinks you can beat everybody, some battles not worth fighting, man. And you had to know, if you went in there and you tried to put up a fight, you were going to get a 50-burger put on your head. Ask the Redskins. Ask the Eagles what happens when you threaten the Broncos at home. It looks close. It looks like it's actually a watchable football game. But at some point, they're going to turn it up and put, 17, 24, 31 unanswered points. And in some cases, like the Redskins, 45 or 38 unanswered points on your head. So they had to take a 50-burger, man. And look, I'll tell you what. If I'm Tennessee, I take a couple of things away from this game. Even though, there was an ass thrashing at the hands of the Broncos here. I take a couple of things away. Justin Hunter is going to be a playmaker for you. He got the game started with a huge play down the sideline setup, that Sean Green touchdown run to kick off the scoring in this game. Just when it looked like you were going to chill out and allow the Broncos to coast to victory after they had run off 24 unanswered, including a Matt Prater 64-yard NFL record field goal. I mean, that was a huge kick. That got everybody excited, pumped up. How often is it, other than a game-winning field goal, do you see guys literally giving the kicker some props and really, giving the kicker a lot of love? They were all over Matt Prater. That was a really good scene in Denver there. And if that record was going to be broken, of course, you knew it was going to be in Denver. So Matt Prater, there was a lot of guys tied at 63. Matt Prater now stands alone atop that record, atop that Mount Everest of field goal kicks with a 64-yarder. So that was a heck of a scene there and a heck of a record by Matt Prater. But Justin Hunter, when this game seemed like it was getting out of control, he was the one that reeled the Denver Broncos back in with that long touchdown. And that was a great throw by Ryan Fitzpatrick. Like I said, you got a really good backup on your hands with Fitzpatrick. Is he going to be a guy that you can count on to win you games consistently? No. But that you're not asking many backups in this league to come in for an 8-game stretch, for a 9-game stretch like you're doing with Fitzpatrick this year. You want a quality backup for a 4-game stretch. Ryan Fitzpatrick is your man, and he's playing solid football, but you weren't going to win this game. But Justin Hunter looked damn good, and he shows you why you got yourself a gem here, why you can feel good about, and even though you had already moved on from Kenny Britt, you can feel good about letting Kenny Britt walk away by essentially diminishing him to next to nothing on this roster. You can feel good about that, knowing that you got Kendall Wright, that you got a guy like Justin Hunter, like a guy like Nate Washington still on your roster. You've got some targets to throw the football to. And also another thing, a lot of people, including a lot of Titans fans, didn't like the signing of Sean Green. I felt like it was a wonderful signing. Maybe you felt like you paid too much, $3 million per year. I felt like that was a great signing. I didn't feel like you overpaid for him. If he can stay healthy, and that's been his issue this year, if he can stay healthy, you got yourself a solid number 2 behind Chris Johnson. I really like the move, and I thought he played his best game of the season against Denver. So those are a couple of positives to take away from this game. Nothing else. You lost 51-28. There's not much more positive you can take away from this game. If you're Denver, you do, and you did what the Denver Broncos do in this game. You beat people up at home, and you're a bully at home. And the only sour note in this game is that Wes Welker, man, he hit his head on the turf hard. And that turf was like concrete because it was so cold in Denver in this game. He hit his head on the turf, no protection. He didn't brace his fall. His head slammed down against the turf. That's another concussion for Wes Welker. And I tell you what, this one, he's definitely not playing on Thursday night against San Diego. That's out of the question. Now the question is, how long will he be out? Because this is his second concussion in 4 weeks. And that one was a tough one. I mean, Wes has to stop getting concussions. And that one wasn't even a shot. That one was a slamming your head against the turf. And again, that's like slamming your head against a brick wall or concrete. I mean, that packed in, matted, icy surface that he hit his head against is unforgiving, and he hit his head hard. So he's going to be gone for a while. I can't say for how long, but he's definitely not playing Thursday against San Diego. Wouldn't be surprised if he didn't play in the next matchup after that either, because that was a tough fall that he took onto the canvas. But that's going to do it for this breakdown. Poor Tennessee. They put up a valiant effort, but again, when you're in Denver, just don't. Just don't. And they had to take a 50 burger for their efforts in this game. 51-28 is your final score. Denver dominates this game, stays atop the AFC conference at third. What is it now? 11-2. Yeah, at 11-2, and they're the team to be reckoned with. There are some chinks in that Denver armor, and I'll talk about that at a later date and time. But they get it done again. 51-28. Tennessee. Their playoff hopes are all but dashed at this point. At 5-8, they're essentially done. Again, I told you in the divisional breakdowns that it was going to take 9-7 to win that sixth and final wild card spot in the AFC. And at 5-8, you do the math. You can't get to 9-7 with 8 losses. The Tennessee Titans are essentially and effectively done in my eyes after this loss. But again, did you expect them to go into Denver and win? Absolutely not. So that's going to do it for this installment of In the Lab Room. I thank you for joining me. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the Lab Room. I've got a couple more games to break down in week number 14 of the National Football League, so come back and join me as I continue to break down the entire slate in week 14 of the National Football League.